Andrew Yang is the co-chair of the Forward Party and former 2020 Democrat presidential candidate. Okay, Yang, you're backing a coup. You are backing a coup against a sitting president. How are you okay with that?
I think Joe Biden should step aside. The majority of Americans agree, Jesse. I'm someone who thinks we deserve better leadership and the best candidate to defeat Donald Trump. I do not think that Trump should be back in power. And Joe Biden right now is going to hand not just the White House, but also the Senate and Congress to Trump. We have to have a better nominee than that.
All right, so Yang, you're not saying he's mentally unfit. You're saying he's probably going to lose. Is that the reason you want him out of there, just because he might lose? Is that the reason to disenfranchise all the millions of people in the Democrat primary who voted for him?
That was a bit of a sham primary. Someone who was involved, and you and I spent some time together in New Hampshire. I also do not think that Joe Biden objectively can make it through another term. One of the interviewers yesterday essentially posed the question, hey, can you do this 3 years from now? And he kind of poo-pooed it. Joe Biden is clearly slipping very, very quickly, and I can't imagine him fulfilling a second term. A lot of Americans see it the same way.
So if you don't think he could make it until next year, he probably can't make it now. Why don't you just 25th Amendment him right now?
I think that would be a very legitimate course of action, genuinely. We can all see that there were people that have been enabling Joe through this time. There are reports about the schedules and the accommodations that are being made. And it's bad for the American people. It's bad for our confidence in our leadership. There are enough challenges without essentially adding to them in the way that this administration is. I hope that Joe Biden does see the right course of action is for him to step aside.
I don't think he's going to see that. I know Joe. He's been in this business for his whole life. He's going to plot ahead. 25th Amendment, you're saying that the people around Joe don't have what it takes to do it? Why wouldn't they do it? They see him more than we see him. You think they're afraid?
You know, someone said to me something that has driven me over the last 5 years, Jesse. They said, Washington, D.C. is not a town of leaders, it's a town of followers. There are a lot of people who don't think that Joe Biden should be the nominee who are afraid to say it, to your point. And a lot of people work for the administration. If people spoke their minds openly, we'd be in a very, very different place as a country. And so I think you and I both know that there are a lot of folks who are biting their tongues right now and keeping their thoughts to themselves until they think it's politically prudent to air them out. And that's not what we need right now. We need Americans to actually step up and put the country ahead of their own professional interests.
Well, you're right about that. We wouldn't be in this place if the media had been telling the truth and covering him honestly, and if the people around him had been saying the truth. We never should have been in this position, but we are. And who knows what's going to happen? Extraction team lifting him out of the White House, or him just, never giving up. We'll see how it shakes out. Andrew Yang, have a great weekend. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.